Hi guys, welcome to The Spill and Grill.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm Tashinga.
And this is where you spill the stories.
And we grill them to perfection.
Okay guys, let's get ready for today's episode. Today is a very different episode. We are not going to be reading any stories today. What we are going to do is we are going to do a reaction video to the extremely popular and viral series of Danish Deception.
I'm very excited for this.
For you guys who don't know, and I'm pretty sure you all do, because otherwise I think you're living under a rock if you have not heard of Danish Deception yet. This is a woman who dated and married a Danish man, and it went from dream to nightmare.
The whole thing behind it is how he completely scammed her and her family and friends as well.
He basically drained her savings, which really sucks. But let's get started with our opinions and also our opinions to other people's reactions. I saw this one video where it was a black woman who was talking about Anyeka's ex. Now, this man was from Denmark. He was light-skinned, blue eyes, blonde hair. And Anyeka clearly mentions that she liked that she was attracted to him. And this woman on TikTok was attacking her for being a black woman who liked this light-skinned, light eyes, light hair man. And she said, as a black woman myself, if I were to date a white man, I would only date a man with darker features, so brown hair, brown eyes. And then she goes to accuse her of being a MAGA supporter. Now, whether she is or isn't, that's not part of what we're going to talk about today. But I just think that it's such an unfair accusation because people have their own preference. Some people, whether they are brown, white, or black, they are attracted to men who have blonde hair, blue eyes. That's a huge thing. People love that. Yeah. Personally, my boyfriend, he's a Latino, and I like that he has like this mocha skin color, and I like that he looks kind of the opposite of me. To me, that's exotic, and that was a turn on for me when I first met him. So yeah, so I really don't think that type of attack is fair at all.
Yeah, but there is a lot of videos around this, especially the race part.
You have got to realize how problematic it is that you glorify and praise whiteness. You would have never left this man. This man had to leave you. Pride for you was having the white man. It didn't matter the addiction. It didn't matter that there were pennies in his bank account. It didn't matter the lies. It didn't matter that he had deceived one of your best friends. As long as you had this white man on your side, you were okay. Because it will happen to you again until you can figure out why you are so drunk off whiteness.
But when I was watching it, I was like, I did not think this at all. But maybe because I was raised differently.
But she's also not the first black woman to be attracted to a white man. No. Like, I don't understand why they're attacking her over that.
And I don't know. Then she puts it on the internet. She's being vulnerable. And then we are the ones to point fingers and say things. I think there's got to be a little bit of grace. It's just because she put it on TikTok, which I understand we were just discussing before we recorded this of why she was doing it. She's doing it, I believe, or we believe, to bring awareness and to let people know that, like, you're not the only one that this is happening to. Maybe there's some parts that I would just never understand because I've never been in that situation, whereas Sarah has, and she'll explain more of why, maybe when you're going through a certain situation, you don't see it like this.
One of the biggest attacks is people are calling her stupid and dumb for the things she did. So let's just start by saying that love makes you do dumb things, whether it's the first time you're in love or even the 50th time in love. You end up in this bubble with rose-colored glasses and it does make you do dumb things. Now, if it's the 50th time, fine. You've learned a few things along the way between 1 and 49, right? But at 50, you're still going to do dumb stuff for the person you love. Anyeka did mention that this was one of her first serious relationships. And she was on The Bachelor before, which anybody with a brain knows that's not real dating. Exactly. And she mentions that she was traumatized from being on The Bachelor. So she was a very easy target for this man. Going back to what Tashinga just said about bringing awareness, I mean, that is also what happened with Risa Tisa, who did I marry, right? She did it to bring awareness because these new buzzwords like emotional intelligence and love bombing and breadcrumbing. It's only been maybe 10 years that they've been mainstreamed and we've been talking about them, maybe even less than 10 years. I would say and so we're still very much like in the infancies of learning about this. Yeah. And that is why when you are with a narcissist, it goes from amazing to horrible. And that horrible part like hits you in the face. And I just want to say that Risa Tisa's Who the Fuck Did I Marry is the mother of this podcast. That is, after watching that, that is the reason why I started this podcast. And that's why I share stories about my ex-boyfriend. Because when I heard her story, I went, oh my God, I have a crazy narcissistic ex as well. And then I realized it's not just me. It's not just Risa Tisa. It's not just Anyeka. It's a lot of us. And that's why we share these stories. Yes, some of them are entertainment. They're funny. We laugh. But it's also about raising awareness about people who are just not acting right. I really don't like the fact that people are calling her stupid. And she also mentions it. She says it in the series. Yes, I know this was dumb. I know. But it's not only being in love, it's also being manipulated. And so when you're in love, you trust that person. And when you're being manipulated, you don't know you're being manipulated. Otherwise, it wouldn't be called manipulation. You realize it later, in hindsight, 1, 2, 3 years later sometimes, when it hits you and you go, oh my God, I was being manipulated into doing this. And this is not only for Anyeka's story. Like, we attack victims of manipulation. And I really think that needs to stop.
I agree.
These are victims. And yes, when you're a victim of manipulation and of narcissistic abuse, you do tend to do stupid things because you were manipulated into doing it. And also another subject that I want to touch on is when you are with someone who is mentally unwell. And in Anyeka's situation, she was with a gambling addict and a narcissist. So that's like a double whammy in a sense, right? When they constantly pushed your buttons, you also end up being mentally unwell. And that's why there's women who get beaten, they kill their husbands, go to court, and then end up in jail. But they were being beaten.
Yes, that's true. Yes, actually, you're right. That's so true.
We need to stop this stigma of attacking victims of abuse, of narcissistic, sociopathic, physical, mental, emotional abuse. I can imagine him Googling her name, seeing her on The Bachelor, and then watching all her episodes so he can study her personality, see what she likes, what she doesn't like. I could so see that.
I agree with you. That was enough to be like, I've got my golden ticket.
Okay, so the royalty thing, I'm kind of half on, okay? Because apparently she did Google it, and she said that they had the same last name as the royal family. Now, let's think about King Charles. I'm sure he has third and fourth cousins that are living modest lives that he probably don't even know they exist, and they still have the same last name.
On the family, the royal family or whatever, I think I would have done extensive research.
Okay. Because
this is public record. And I would have done some extensive research and found the family trees. Because a surname is a surname. I believe, being American, I'm just generalizing. I think they look at Europe and just think, I want what Meghan had. I want to be American and to find my prince. So maybe Anyeka was like, who knows, I might find my prince charming. Maybe she just thought, oh, you know what, if he's in royalty, I'm having my Meghan moment.
Yeah, very possible, very possible. And I think that seeing that they had the same last name was enough for her. Should she have done more research? Yes.
Absolutely.
But she, when you're in love and when you see this person and you put them on a pedestal, they can do no wrong in your mind. So she saw the last names and went with it.
True.
So that brings me to my next point.
Yes.
This is my only thing where I'm going to say, Anyeka, girl, and that is the Olympics. Because he told you, okay, yes, I was a backup of a backup. And then he said, but we got the gold and the silver or the bronze, I think?
Gold and
silver.
Huge.
Which are huge. And then she just took his word for it. That one I would have Googled. Not because I don't trust him, but I would have Googled it because I think that's so cool, right?
Exactly.
So I'd be like, oh my God, let me see
exactly.
if I can see. Because you can see the lineup, even if there's no footage, right? Because apparently he didn't even perform or whatever.
No, exactly, because he was a backup of a backup.
Yeah, but that I would have Googled.
I dated footballers. You best believe I did some serious research, but seriously, I did. I found YouTube videos, I found interviews, everything.
So that is my only semi-attack on her. But at the same time, I understand. You want to believe this person. And the thing is that narcissists have this way of making you go wow with the details and the lies that they give you. And you look at them with stars in your eyes. As someone who was with a narcissist for 5 years, I get it, especially at the beginning, because that person seems so amazing. And although my story is completely different, I can 100% relate to almost everything that she says. And I feel like, a good 90% of these people that are attacking Anyeka online would never have the balls to say that to her face. It is so easy to be mean on a screen.
That's true. One of the things that I find really interesting is that she didn't tell any of her friends. And I think if you're not telling your friends, in your gut, in your instinct, something is off.
So I'll answer that from my perspective.
Oh, good, yeah.
I think it's a little bit of shame because you tell your friends, oh my God, I've met this great guy. Now they're married. And you have this, for lack of a better word, you have this facade online of look at us as the perfect couple. Yeah. And you want to maintain those appearances. And when you start to realize that he's doing like a few bad things, you don't want to tell your friends because it's
true, yeah.
it's kind of shameful. Not shameful, but it makes you feel a little bit of shame. And especially when you realize that you're falling for lies, it makes you also feel really small and really stupid, and you don't want your friends to think you're small and stupid.
True.
And so you keep it to yourself.
But also, when you got money involved, and a lot of money involved, it just becomes so messy, very scary. I mean, she had a good job. She was in real estate, but she even said her savings started to deplete.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
money she was not getting back because she also stopped working, didn't she not?
At one point, yeah, which was, I think, that was dumb on his end because he was getting money from her. But yeah, maybe that was another manipulation tactic. Maybe that was something to bring her down, to weaken her in some way.
Yeah, it definitely worked. It definitely worked.
Yeah.
I just don't know how she just couldn't tell her friends.
Yeah, I honestly, I think it was shame, which is sad.
It is sad.
Because you shouldn't be ashamed, but that's how you feel when you're abused.
I guess so, but at the expense of now all this that she went through, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A friend at the beginning could have said, listen, Onyeka, like, this is off. Like, take it easy.
Another reaction video that I saw on TikTok was one girl who I think she has like a mutual friend of Onyeka, and this mutual friend reached out to the TikTok girl and said, we warned her at the beginning.
Yes.
He was giving off bad vibes.
Yes.
But she is in that bubble, and when you are in that bubble, it is so hard to pop. When you see that person as this amazing person, and then you have outsiders, whether it's your friends, your family, coworkers, or whatever, saying, "Hey, like he did something a little shady. Hey, isn't that weird that he did that?" You just want to shove it away. You're like, no. This is my perfect match. Do not ruin the perfect match that I have. I finally found him, and you get defensive.
Yeah, no, that I understand.
Like, how many times have we had friends that are in wrong relationships and they will not listen, even after the bubble, even after the honeymoon stage?
That's very true.
Right?
Yeah, no, you're right. And the bit that I felt so sorry for her was like towards the end where he then says, I want to divorce you. And then she's like, no, and like trying to run back. I was like, Jesus Christ.
That broke my heart.
Me too.
That
I
part.
was like, oh my God, Onyeka, seriously? For me, that would have been like my golden ticket. Yes, divorce me. Get me out of this mess.
But that's the thing. She was still in love with him. She didn't know he was a narcissist. She knew that he was an addict, a gambling addict. And she knew how to deal with a gambling addict. That's why she was talking to him that way. She was trying to be nice to him because she thought that's what he needed. And she did want to save her marriage. Who doesn't want to save their marriage once they're married? When you still love that person. But you know what's interesting about this story is that the red flags didn't come all at once. They came in increments. Right? So it took forever to put them together because there was so much time.
Exactly. So you've already forgotten about flag number 4 because now you're already on flag number 8.
Yeah.
So it didn't
it's
matter.
already 3 years later, right?
Exactly. So I noticed that as well, that they didn't come all at once.
He was good. He was good.
Amazing. He was amazing.
I would have to give him that. He's a fantastic narcissist.
Bravo.
Narcissist of the year.
Of the century.
Of the century, yeah.
And also the text messages that he was sending her, just how she was scrolling through them. There were these big, long...
Yeah. And it's only after that she was like, fuck you, I hate you, I wish I had never met you, where she was like, I'm so done with you. That's only when his narcissistic brain went, shh. And then he's like, I love you, I'm sorry, I want to get back together with you. Oh my God. And thank God she didn't fall for that. Thank God.
True. Yeah, it's true. I agree with you on that. The other part that also blows my mind is that he asked the friends and family for money. I know if my husband or fiance or boyfriend was asking my mum for money, no.
But he said, don't say anything because it's a surprise. I'm going to buy her a Rolex.
Right, okay. But honestly, I think my mum would have at least rang my sister and be like, what do you think of this? And they would have been like, this is shady as But also, I don't know, because he was saying this to everyone. It's a surprise. She knows.
Yeah.
But would your mum...
She doesn't know.
But then still, would you just give 10K, 20K? I honestly, I just wouldn't. I'd be like, hey, just to let you know, he's doing a surprise for you, but he's asking me for this much money.
Yeah.
That's all I would say. And I don't know. I think the family, I don't think they're at fault, but I do think it's weird that they were willingly giving up so much money.
But he's a manipulator. He didn't just manipulate her.
No,
he manipulated the whole family.
Remember that businessman? The one that said, I've been in business for like 50 years and no one has pulled one over me. And he did. And I had 15 meetings with him.
And he still fooled him.
Yeah.
That's how good he is.
He's very good.
He's good at being horrible.
Yeah. I don't know how he sleeps at night, to be honest.
Narcissists don't have empathy.
That's so true.
He sleeps very well. He sleeps better than most of us, I'm sure.
It's just a wild story.
It is an absolutely wild story. And 1 week after Danish Deception came out, he scammed another girl in Tulum.
Yeah. what I don't get is like his face is known, his face is everywhere, and he's still just doing what he's doing and getting away with it. Isn't that what I would be in hiding? At least Tinder Swindler went into kind of hiding. I can't deal. It's like how he's getting away with this, because Onyeka was saying she wants him to go to prison.
I think so. I think
he
should
go to prison for sure.
I agree. He deserves to be in prison for everything that he did.
It just makes me sad because I'm just like, he really just fucked up her life.
Yeah, that's another attack that she's getting, is that she's getting emotional during some of the videos, and they're like, well, she's clearly not over it. She's clearly still in love with him. And she's heartbroken. She's allowed to be heartbroken. She's allowed to take her time to heal. And she's using this series as part of her healing process. Like, let her heal. Like, heartbreak does not go like this.
No.
It can take months, sometimes years.
Exactly. And that's what I was saying. I'm not speaking for her, but I'm not sure if I'd be able to ever get over what happened. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of moving parts here, as much as about being in love and getting married, but I don't know, like the manipulation, everything. Like, I think there's a lot. So if she never gets over it, I honestly don't blame her.
That's another thing. We attack women and men for being emotional. And you know what? Like, there are psychologists that have said showing emotion is a strength, not a weakness. She went through something so chaotic and so traumatizing, and it affected her, but it also affected people that she loved.
Yeah.
So, girl, cry. It's okay. It's okay to cry.
I agree with you on this. It's heartbreaking, to be honest. It's really, and just like you said, very traumatic.
Yeah.
I hope she gets what she wants out of this whole thing. I really, really, really do. And bringing awareness. And to be honest, I actually hope more women and men
come out,
because I know someone personally that has gone through, I wouldn't say exact same, but similar in terms of manipulation, lots of money involved, and just this person is like a shell of a man. If more people are able to come out and tell their story, then both Onyeka and Risa Tisa, is that her name?
Risa Tisa,
exactly, have honestly done their job in that sense.
Exactly.
You know, brought awareness, and it's not something we should be ashamed of.
It happens to more people than you think.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say thank you to Onyeka for sharing this story, because I know it was not easy. And although we have some judgments, we are on your side, girl.
Yeah.
Stay strong, and keep sharing your story. Never, ever be ashamed of what's happened.
Exactly. So guys, thank you very, very much for watching. I know this wasn't a dating one, but I hope you enjoyed.
A crazy X story.
A crazy X story.
An X-file,
exactly.
but on Onyeka's end.
Yeah, a big
Yeah.
Oh my God. But yeah, as always, if you have any crazy stories like this or any dating stories, please email us at thespillandgrill@gmail.com. The email will be on the screen now. If you have been listening on Spotify, you have just been listening to the Spill and Grill Danish Deception edition. And if you have been watching on YouTube, thank you very much for watching the Spill and Grill. I'm Tashinga.
And I'm Sarah.
See you in the next episode.
Bye, guys.
Bye.